it all boils down to this. When Tim Tebow was coming out of college into the draft, into the combine, there were just countless people in the media saying, this guy's going to be a 5th-round pick, 6th-round pick. He's like not even the top 6 quarterback in the draft. So everyone was saying that, and that was the whole deal with him. Draft night comes, and Tim Tebow and the Denver Broncos shock the world. 25th pick overall, first-round draft pick. So all of a sudden now you're like, okay, this guy just proved us wrong. And so it completely made the media think that, okay, to cover our own backside, this guy can't do great, because we've been taking such a strong stand this whole time and claiming that he's going to be garbage, and all of a sudden he throws you a complete curveball, and Mel Kiper almost fell out of his chair when they read that Tim Tebow was the 25th pick overall. So right out the gate, Tim Tebow is in a lose-lose situation with the media. And like you've been constantly telling on this segment, the stuff that Tebow has done on the field, okay, which is completely irrelevant in their minds. Cam Newton has everything that Tim Tebow had in college. Spread offense. He's won the Heisman. He had all these different people saying, he can't play a pro-style offense. Week 1, Cam Newton throws for over 400 yards, and all of a sudden, Cam Newton's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
In other words, according to these guys, Cam Newton's style translates.
Now it does.
But Tim Tebow's style doesn't translate.
And it goes back to picking and choosing what you want to use.
Well, I've been asking the question why, and you just answered one of those questions, is because, there are people now whose careers are invested in Tim Tebow failing.
Yeah.
Mel Kiper's career is invested, whether he wants it to or not, in Tim Tebow failing. So sure, they don't want to see the guy get a chance.
And it's because Tim Tebow is such a polarizing guy. You're going to know, when you talk about Tim Tebow, people know who's talking about Tim Tebow. It's not like Mel Kiper saying, Brady Quinn, Tim Couch, all these guys aren't gonna do anything, because when they ultimately don't do anything, he's not going to be accounted for it. People are going to know the people who have been bashing Tim Tebow this whole time. So if Tim Tebow does great in the NFL, Mel Kiper looks like an idiot, and all these guys look like an idiot. Merrill Hoge, all these guys. You
just answered one of the big questions I've been asking, and that's why. Why is there not only such a voluminous and monolithic anti-Tebow?
They don't want him to succeed because of the stance they took when this guy entered the draft.
And why is it so personal? And you just answered one of those questions, because a lot of people at this point,
right,
a lot of people are going to have some serious egg on their face when he does succeed. And then, by the way, there was one person who predicted he would go in the first round.
Exactly, and that was you on this very program.
The day before the draft. And in fact, if you want to see it, guys, it's up on Tebow True Channel. But let's get to the calls in just a second. But I want to make one more point before we start to get to the calls. If you want to get on board, 482-ESPN, 407-482-3776, 482-ESPN, or 1-877-380-1080 toll free. And Brian, you made a great point that I've been trying to make all this time, is that one thing that's being completely overlooked is what Tebow does on the field,
and
between the lines and in the arena. We'll revisit that, and that's one thing that why I'm so frustrated and so passionate. What Tebow does never seems to count.
See, I think because a lot of these people in the media never grew up playing sports, and you don't have to play in the NFL, you don't have to play college football to understand the team sports and how crucial it is to be a great teammate in the locker room. I played sports my whole life, so I understand that. These guys don't get that. They don't get it. So when they let's use Tony Romo for example. Okay. Tony Romo is getting completely bombarded because of, he's not a fourth guy quarterback. Tony Romo has had 2 prolific diva wide receivers cry for him in the post-game press conferences. T.O. and Des Bryant. Tell me that guy's not a great teammate. Those guys love him. And you know what? He's made some mistakes. He's a great quarterback on the field, but yes, he's made some mistakes in the crucial time, but it comes down to him being the Dallas Cowboy quarterback, and it comes down to Tim Tebow being Tim Tebow.
And I think what you're saying is there's a certain bottom feeder type of media type, which unfortunately is a lot.
It's a gang mentality
at the national media.
It's a mob mentality.
If you write something bad about Tebow, whether you believe it or not, you're gonna be in the news.
You're gonna be talked about.
You're gonna be on Google.
Sure.
If you write something about the quarterback something negative about the the quarterback of the Cowboys, which is one of the highest profile positions in sports, now you're going to be part of the conversation.
And Merrill Hoge's point, quarterbacks beware! Don't throw a pick in the fourth quarter, or he's going to call for your job on NFL
sorry about a
Live on
bottom
Monday.
feeder. Yeah, absolutely.